Hello, good day, and welcome to my roundup of news from E3. Well, part one of it anyway. I'm going to split this into two. Expect the other half towards the end of the week. But for now, I'll mostly be covering Bethesda, Microsoft, Ubisoft, and EA from their conferences. I know the other ones have been and gone already, but I just felt as if I should just do this bit by bit. Okay, so I'm not going to be covering every single game as well, only the ones which particularly interest me, or I have something interesting to say about. So I won't be covering things like Gears of War or Uncharted if you're expecting that, because I just can't really find anything interesting to say about them. But anyway, as you can see on the background, the first one I'm going to start off with is Fallout 4. Okay, so the footage actually started with pre-nuclear Holocaust footage, which actually is kind of cool. They never really showed anything like this before. You kind of like get the salesman come to the door and stuff like that. I just thought it was really, really cool. It was just a really neat little intro to the story and things like that. But anyway, they then skip forward. They don't want to give away too much. And the first thing you notice when you actually emerge from the vault is you get that awesome kind of like landscape in the background there. It really rivals the one you had from Fallout 3, and straight away I've got to say that the backdrops in this game look absolutely fantastic. I know a lot of people have been moaning about the quality of the graphics in this game, but honestly, seeing it in motion, it looks so much better. I really don't know what else you can say. I mean, the character models don't look great. I know this is still partly based on the Oblivion engine, so obviously the engine for this is really, really old now, but I think it's only partly based on it, which could explain why the graphics don't necessarily look that amazing. But anyway, yeah, to me, it looks absolutely fine. It looks absolutely passable for next gen, and let's face it, this is about an immersive, apocalyptic experience. You don't need like Destiny levels of graphics or anything like that in order to be impressed by this game. And in fact, Destiny is the polar opposite to this game. Great graphics, but didn't really tell a story. This is going to be the other way around. Okay, what else did they say about Fallout 4? Well, right now you can go and download a free mobile app called Fallout Shelter as well, where you can build your own vault and community. Unfortunately, I don't have access to them, so I can't really comment too much about it. So what else did we see from this trailer? Well, you have a dog, as we knew before, and it looks as if you can just give the dog little simple commands and send him about and scavenge for things or attack other monsters and things like that, which is a nice little touch. I know we've seen things like that since Fable 2, I think. Yeah, I'm sure it was Fable 2. But it's still a nice little touch to the game, adds something a little new. You can also see the VAT system is back. There's a whole new layout and interface for the game as well that looks much, much neater. Other things we saw, battle suits, aircrafts, jetpacks, lots of really cool little bits of gear and stuff like that. So yeah, we've got a lot to look forward to here. It's slated for a 10th of November release, so we got a little while to wait yet, but it's not so far away. I think none of us were really expecting it to come out that soon. Okay, so my honest opinion on the pre-E3 announcement now is that they never should have done it. This should have been a surprise, because it really didn't do it justice. Like I said, there are still people that are complaining about the graphics, and I can't help but feel as if they're still influenced by that original teaser trailer. Okay, so the only other game I really wanted to talk about from the Bethesda conference was Doom. Okay, so those of you who aren't 30 years old, you probably need to know that Doom was one of the most groundbreaking first-person shooters to have ever been released. There were games before it, old first-person shooters like Wolfenstein and things like that, but this one really created a sense of atmosphere and things like that. You could hear noises behind doors and really created this amazing horror experience. But anyway, we've had a few games since. Doom 3 split the audience. Some people liked it, some people hated it. But hey, it's great to see a first-person shooter that's more based on a kind of run-and-gun kind of mechanic rather than going into cover and things like that. I know the trailer for this game is quite slow. I'm hoping that's not going to be how the game is. But I imagine it will be much more fast-paced, because that's more or less in the spirit of Doom. But anyway, The stagger system looks really cool. When you shoot an enemy, they kind of like stagger on the ground. You run up to them and you get to do a melee attack, which creates some really, really cool looking death sequences as well. That looked really neat, although I imagine it probably would tax after a while. Um, the weapons are all very, very familiar to Doom fans, which is very, very cool. What else can I say, really? Well, there's, as well as this level that you're seeing here, there is also a hell level as well, which I will just show off very quickly here. Again, looks very dank, very intimidating, but very, very cool again. And although I don't have any footage here, there is map creation tools as well, which look very neat as well. The multiplayer didn't really give too much away. We just got a very short kind of teaser kind of thing for the multiplayer. But anyway, yeah, that's it. And really, that wraps it up for the Bethesda conference. So, Microsoft are lagging behind a little in the console wars. So, what have they done at E3 to really try to turn things around? Well, if you bear with me here, I'm just going to have the Fallout running in the background again because I'm so excited about it and I've got really nothing to show right now for on screen that would represent any of these, although it slightly does relate to Fallout 4 again somewhat. First of all, I want to talk about the backwards compatibility. This is fantastic. You need a disc still in order to put into your console, and it will download the game for you. So you do still need the hard drive space for anything like this, but this is an amazing move. I've still got a massive collection of Xbox 360 games that I don't really play anymore. This will allow me to play them a bit more. This is something that's going to appeal to a lot of people as well, and I can actually see a lot of people possibly swinging in Xbox One's favour here, in order to buy their console of choice and things like that. Really smart move from Microsoft. Something else that's an amazing move as well. I talked about the Steam box before and just what an exciting console that looks like. Well, Microsoft have given their answer to that. Modding communities. PC mods and things like that are going to be available to Xbox One now. The game they used as the example for that is Fallout 4. So all these people who have been saying for years and years and years, console gaming, never going to match PC, you get so much more content on PC. This is a step towards narrowing that gap between the two. It's not eliminating it. Please do not get me wrong. I'm not saying that, but it is narrowing it somewhat. Other things which are similar to the PC, though, as well, there's going to be something called Xbox Game Preview as well for games in alpha. So basically, you're going to be able to get games which are currently being tested. Elite Dangerous was one of the games that was mentioned in this as well as DayZ, of which there's going to be a new IP called Ion coming from the creator of DayZ as well. All these games are going to be making their way onto the Xbox console, courtesy of this Xbox Game Preview, which is fantastic news. DayZ especially, I can't wait to play that on my Xbox One. I've obviously played it before on the PC and put up a few videos. But anyway, yes, that's very exciting for this. Xbox have done a real good job with putting out things like this. Also, the HoloLens, which they used Minecraft as the example for. Fair enough, every single one of these companies are now going to be bringing out their own VR-style things. I know Microsoft said something about working in conjunction with Steam to improve the VR for the Xbox One as well. Neat little move by Microsoft again. That's more or less all the kind of like behind-the-scenes-y bits with Xbox. Really impressive. I've been very impressed with what Xbox have done with this. Okay, so how about a couple of games? Well, like I said, I'm not going to talk about things like Gears of War. I'm not really too interested in what they've got to offer. I like the game, and I'm going to enjoy playing it, but there was nothing really interesting there. Rise of the Tomb Raider. We got to see some stunning backdrops and things like that. It still very looks in the mould of the very first Tomb Raider game. I'm not sure it's really showing off too much new or anything like that. But it looks neat. I think if you enjoyed Tomb Raider, it looks as if you're going to enjoy this as well. Showed off a bit of gameplay footage, which is fantastic to see as well. The only other game I'm really going to talk about from the Microsoft side of things, is a game called ReCore. which we only saw a teaser for, so we haven't really seen much of what this game is about. But what you do need to know is this is being made by Kaiji Inafune, who is the creator of the Mega Man series of games, so you can expect something with really fantastic gameplay to this one. But the studio who are behind making this as well are the people who made Metroid Prime, which was a fantastic game back on the GameCube. So really, this is something, it kind of like, as you can see from the trailer here, it's kind of like a girl in a kind of dystopian future kind of thing going around with her little robo-dog. It's based around the cores that you can put into other things, to make other robots to be your kind of like partner thing by the looks of it. It looks like a really interesting idea and something I'm really looking forward to. Anyway, that about wraps up what I've got to say about the Microsoft conference. Let's now have a look at EA. And Mass Effect Andromeda! Oh my god, this was only a teaser, but I am such a huge fan of Mass Effect, and I think I said in my last video that this was my #1 thing I wanted to see at E3. And they've delivered a teaser for it. Fair enough, we are not seeing anything at all, but I couldn't help but get very excited over seeing, you kind of like get all these backdrops and things like that, and a guy kind of like running through it as if it was smart glass, and then he turns around, walks towards the camera, and you see the N7 there. Neat little bit outside as well, on a planet as well. Very, very brief, but I'm very, very excited about this. Year and a half to wait, so I've got a year on Fallout 4 before I get absorbed into this. Okay, Star Wars Battlefront. I'm going to start off by saying that I am not the biggest Star Wars fan. I'm really not. However, this game looks absolutely brilliant. I understand it's only multiplayer, and I'm not a big multiplayer fan, but the things they were showing off in this were absolutely brilliant. The sound of everything, I may have to turn it up for this a little bit, simply because it's all very authentic, as you'd expect. Very, very cool. It shows off all the different roles as well, whether you're a trooper on the ground or in one of the walkers, or you can fly. You've got the spaceships and stuff like that. But man, the airstrikes as well, seeing some of that was really, really cool. I enjoyed watching some of the footage on that, and of course you've got the characters as well. Again, this was all gameplay footage, but it's cut in a very specific way. But that doesn't detract from it at all. This game looks very, very cool. I'm quite excited about this now. Okay, finally, the only other game I really wanted to talk about from the EA conference was Mirror's Edge Catalyst. And maybe not for the right reasons either. This is one which I'm not necessarily so excited about. The original Mirror's Edge wasn't the best game. I know, again, it very much split people, but from the gameplay footage that was actually shown, which there wasn't a great deal of, it looked very much the same, just very much souped up with high-end graphics and things like that, which to me is not a good move. I know I have a friend that's quite excited about this one, but I just cannot get excited at all. I can't help but think that this is going to be same as before. It's going to let a lot of people down, I think. Although I could be proven wrong. You never know. And finally, we're going to have a look at Ubisoft. And really, at the start of the Ubisoft's one, it was a real shocker. I did not see this coming at all. A sequel to South Park, The Stick of Truth, which I really enjoyed. The Fractured But Whole. I was very careful to slow down how I was saying that. The joke is in the title. But yes, expect this to be very, very funny. Rather than following the Lord of the Rings style thing, they're actually going to follow the superhero kind of like characters that you had. So it's going to probably be the same sort of game again, but this time following the South Park gang as superheroes. Can't help but be very excited about this. It's going to be funny. It's going to have that sense of humour. I don't know whether Matt Stone and Trey Parker are involved again. I imagine they will be. It should be very, very good. Then moving on to another surprise, which I knew nothing about. This is a new IP called For Honor. We got a lot of gameplay footage for this, and it looks fantastic. It's a multiplayer sword fighting style game where you basically choose to play as a faction, either samurai, Vikings, or knights, and it plays out these kind of Dynasty Warrior style battles, but it looks a hell of a lot more intricate than those, and looks as if it's going to use a lot more thinking. Looks very, very cool. Apparently they're 4-on-4 battles. I don't know whether that means you have to play it online with people or whether you can set up single players. I wasn't exactly too sure. But either way, this looks absolutely fantastic. Again, lots of games that are on the horizon that they're there to get excited about now. This has been a fantastic E3. And this is one of the reasons for it. It really took me by surprise again. Well done to Ubisoft. That's 2 shocks. And really, there's only one other game I want to talk about from Ubisoft's conference, and that was Rainbow Six Siege. I'm really not too interested in The Division so much, but Rainbow Six Siege, it looks intense. It really does. They're bringing back the terrorist hunt mode, which looks very, very cool. I'm not normally into these kind of like military-style shooters and things like that, but I've really gotten into the Rainbow Six games of the last few years. I have only recently just played the Las Vegas games. Is that what they're called? I've forgotten. Rainbow Six Vegas, that was it. Yeah, I've played the 2 of those and really, really enjoyed them. This, again, looks to be more of the same, but more so. Really does look good. I mean, you can see things just get crazy and real intense real fast. I always like the fact that these games were more about using your intelligence and working together as a team than anything else. So yeah, really, that's it. And that's it for me wrapping up this first part of the E3 conference. Tune back next time. It will probably be towards the end of the week where I will be checking out what Sony, Nintendo, and Squaresoft have to offer on top of anything else. So yeah, look forward to that. All right, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!